Today, I wanted to start reading and thinking about parenting. And the more I started reading in the section that I thought I was going to talk about, I kind of moved into more about wisdom and success and riches and being poor and being a fool versus being smart and wise. And so I started in Proverbs 22, talking about kids and discipline and raising them in the way they should go. And I guess we'll talk about that another time because it didn't end up that was what I was supposed to talk about, I don't think. So I actually ended up in Proverbs 28. And this is all little snippets from Solomon speaking about wealth and riches and being smart and not mouthing off and not acting like you know everything, but actually striving and trying to learn about being wise and don't boast and don't be crazy about things, but just trust in God. And so these are three different verses that stuck out to me of, I guess, kind of how to be successful and how to be wise and the most important things that you can do when you're a Christian, you're following God, but you also want to have a successful life and have a good future and have promise and have a hope. And so this is what stuck out to me. So I really felt like I needed to share it with you today. So we're in Proverbs 28, and this is verse 13. He who conceals his sins does not prosper, but whoever confesses and renounces them finds mercy. And skip down to 28:19. He who works his land will have abundant food, but the one who chases fancies will have his fill of poverty. And then over to verse 26. He who trusts in himself is a fool, but he who walks in wisdom is kept safe. And those are three very powerful verses that stuck out to me today as kind of three ways to be successful, or three ways to be prosperous, three ways to have a wonderful life in how God thinks that we should behave and how we should act. And the first one in 13, confess. We've all sinned. We're all sinners. We're all fallen. And God knows it. We know it, or we should know it. So we need to confess. We need to come clean. We need to be honest with our friends, with our family, and honest with God and confess it to God. And that's the very first thing. I think it's up to us. If He's going to bless us and bring riches into our lives and health and wealth and happiness, we need to first confess, and we need to come clean about everything, even the stuff that we've hidden far away. And this is one of the hardest parts for me, and something that I still struggle with is confessing. And I think it is extremely important. And obviously God, it's important to Him. We need to have faith that He's going to trust us. And the first thing we need to do is confess. And then in verse 19, work. We need to work. We can't sit and be lazy and expect wonderful things to happen. We can't expect someone else to give it to us. We have to work for it. We have to work our land. We have to work at our job. We have to try our best. And we can't sit back and be lazy and expect other people to do it for us. It won't happen. It's not going to be just given to you without working. You got to work for it. And then in verse 26, we have to walk in wisdom. If we expect God to bless our lives, bless our families, bless our pocketbook, whatever it is, we have to be wise. We have to walk in wisdom, which means, in my mind, walking in wisdom, you're going to stumble. It's a hard path. It's a narrow path. And not everyone is going to go down this road. But we have to walk in wisdom, which means we try every single day. We follow those who are wise and maybe not necessarily smart or what the world thinks is smart, but we need to read our scriptures, and we need to follow God, and we need to follow men and women of God who are wise and who have maybe been there before. They've lived a long life. These may be our grandparents, our parents, our friends who are maybe a little bit older than we are, who've been there, who know, kind of the steps to take to get out and how to behave. We need to follow those who are wise and really look up to them. So we need to walk in wisdom if we expect to be, if he who walks in wisdom is kept safe. It's a promise. If we're foolish and we if we make money, we're blessed with money, but we're foolish and we blow it, I mean, it's not something that's going to stay within our lives. So we need to be wise. We need to confess. We need to work. And we need to walk in wisdom. And I think those are three very powerful things that God is showing us and Solomon's talking about here in Proverbs that are, I think those are timeless. I mean, whenever it was that Solomon lived, hundreds, thousands of years ago, it's still powerful today. And these are still wise words today. So it is timeless. It's not something that's going to, in the world is probably going to go out of style. And people are going to tell you, well, you don't have to work. You can just goof off and it'll come to you. And that's just not true. You got to confess. You got to work. And you got to walk in wisdom. So I'm praying for you today. I'm hoping that you're having a wonderful day. And I really pray that you'll go through these verses. And if you're anything like me, you're going to get addicted to reading these. And this morning, like I said, I started in chapter 22. And I got all the way to chapter 28 before it really hit me. Like, this is what I need to talk about. And it's very addicting to me, at least, to read about knowledge and wisdom and how to be prosperous and how to be successful. And it's most of the time it's completely opposite of what the world is telling us. It's, we need to tune in to what God is telling us and what he wants us to know, and he's going to show it to us. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. Get in those verses and read and study them and pray on them. And I really believe amazing things are going to happen for you. And so I'm praying for you today, and I hope you're having a wonderful afternoon, and I will catch you soon.